back to the workshop. So this week I've ended up with a new tool for the lathe from Gary over at Eccentric Engineering. It's a tool he calls the Tornado. It's a really flexible freehand turning system that allows you to create all sorts of different shapes in a range of different materials, including really large radiuses as well. My main focus for it is going to be production of shift knobs, because it does have a tracing function where you can set a template in the back and follow it along with a pointer essentially. These knobs here I've just made in the past just quite freehand and by eye, so repeating that sort of thing for any sort of production part is quite difficult. So this is going to be a really cool way where I can knock out a bunch of the same shape, hopefully, and just really speed up that whole process so I can get more done and more out there. I haven't spent a lot of time with this tool yet. I've only had it for a few days, but in this week's video, I'm going to cut out a template for this shift knob here, which I really like. This is actually the one off my personal bike, and I'm going to try and replicate this a couple of times over. We've got some blanks here, a couple of different colors, ready to go. I'm looking forward to getting this all dialed in and into the arsenal for future projects and maybe some other things that aren't necessarily shift knobs, but just a more complex geometry. So let's get into it and see how we go. So the goal here is to remove all this material. Till this is the only thing left over. And then the tracing arm can come in and follow that shape and just give us our half. Now I'm going to go and linish the edge of this because the tracer arm will come across this, and if there's any nicks and bumps in that, it'll also follow those. So you really want this edge as smooth as possible. So I'll go and do that now. Alright, so that's it all cleaned up. Get that lined up. These little knurled brass thumb screws are a super nice touch. I'm sure I'll eventually lose one and have to remake them, but for now, they look super nice and super easy to use. Oh yeah, that feels smooth as. pretty happy with that shape. Now I'm just going to try and get the, I mean it's still not that bad, but still gonna try and aim for a nicer finish and then start polishing it. So now that we've polished on the machine in place, I'm going to take this out, leave it on the R-bar, and head to the polishing wheel and try and get that last little bit of luster out. And then we'll mount this one up. So I spent a little extra time, mucked around with another slug, and most of this I just did freehand on the plate, and a couple rib sections there. It's a little bit bigger, this one, and it's got a dish in the front. The finish is actually quite nice straight off the tool, but obviously polishing is going to make that a lot nicer. But after just 2 knobs, check the mess. Alright, so that's it for this week. I'm happy with how all this has come up. The new tools worked out really well. Hopefully there's some jobs coming up where we're going to be able to implement that into our workflow. It did take a little bit of getting used to, a couple of hours getting it set up and ready to use, and then also just getting a feel for how everything works. But after that, it was all go, so happy with that. There's a big list of jobs coming in, which we should be able to pick and choose a couple of those to make videos of. So look forward to that. The other thing this week is I was able to link up the web store to Instagram, so feel free to check that out, and any feedback is much appreciated. All right, I guess we'll see you soon. Thanks very much for watching.